morning guys, Diana here from Garden Love. I am back in the garden. It's a sunny day. I'm actually off from work, so I'm really excited. And I wanted to do a project with you guys. There's something that I've been holding off for a while, but it's about that time. I am going to behead my humongous aloe vera plant, and I'll show you in a second. And I'm also going to show you, because I've done this once before, I'm going to show you what was left of the beheaded and how I let it sit in soil and kept watering it, and it just completely took off and gave me tons of little babies. And I'm gonna separate those babies as well, and I'm gonna show you how to do it, so stay tuned. Let's go. All right guys, this was the original aloe vera that was beheaded. It's completely outgrowing its container that I have it in. You can't see it, it looks like it's in the ground because it's that big. I'm gonna behead it and reset it again, and what's left over, as you can see, it's having babies. I'm going to repot those, but I'm going to show you when I originally beheaded this, what was left of that. Well, believe it or not, this is the beheaded bottom part of it. I'll show you guys where I beheaded the other aloe vera plant. As you can see, there's the neck of it, and I put it in soil. I put it in this small container, and soon enough, all of these little baby aloe vera started growing from the neck of the beheaded aloe vera that I showed you earlier, and now it's completely overgrowing this little container. So it's about that time to start beheading all of these little aloe veras and put them in their own container. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. It's very easy, and you don't have to worry about doing it wrong because it's that easy. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's go. Alright guys, since we're about to get to work, I gotta put my hair up for this. Let's go. Alright guys, come on closer. I want to show you guys this. I pulled this out of its soil. Aloe veras don't require that much roots. As you can see, this is all that was in there, and it had some pups. Here's a pup, and here's another one. I'm going to just take its roots, do that. And this aloe vera actually doesn't need to be beheaded because, as you can see, it still has a strand. I can technically just put all of this inside soil, and let's see, it's heavy, and let it sit somewhere. I just have to balance it so it's even. It was just so heavy, and it wasn't deep down enough into the soil that it was going sideways. So now I think I'm just going to leave this for now and put it in a bigger pot. And I think it was receiving too much water because it was getting a little bit of root rot, but I'm going to put it somewhere where it has less water, a little bit more sun. So for this one, it's taken care of. I'm going to get the little babies and let's take care of that, okay? Alright guys, so I'm trying to repot this into a container, and since this trunk or the neck, whatever you want to call it, is going sideways, I'm having a hard time repotting it. It's encountering a lot of damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up beheading this like I said I was going to, just to make it easier to center it in a pot. And this is pretty... Okay, and guess what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to put it in another container, and I'm going to do what I did last year with this container. But since this is encountering a lot of damage, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to peel some of these aloe vera leaves and give it a little bit of space. Keep in mind that it's not going to have any roots to feed it, so I'm going to take as many as I can to help it. Actually, that's all I needed. I'm going to center it right here. I'm not going to put a lot of soil in this container because I'm going to allow it to go deep enough, and that way the rest of the leaves can lay on the container. I'm just going to come in here, just make sure that the soil is surrounding the neck, and then later on maybe I'll come over here and add a little bit more soil, but for now it will be completely fine. Now with this, I'm going to just put it in the dirt, and notice it. Next year this time we're going to have a whole new set of babies. guys, now we're going to take care of this one. And basically, I am just going to pull it out of this container. Come on close and see. Aloe veras don't require a lot of water, and I think that's the reason why the bigger one was going sideways. It was getting way too much water because the sprinklers hit here. This is almost completely dried out, and they're completely fine with that. So just make a note, they don't require a lot of water. In fact, they do better when they have less water. All right, so this is gonna, I want to show you guys again. This is where I took the big aloe vera from. Okay, you can see that I cut it from there, put this in the soil, and now all these little pups are growing. Since the soil is dry, it made it very easy for me to pull this and have the roots with them. So I am just going to continue to do that. This one was already completely separated from its mother, and you can see the roots growing right there, which is perfect. This will make it easier to get it back in the soil. So that's 2 babies. Let's continue. Oh no, baby fell. All right. Here's another baby. Come closer so you can see how they're growing out of the trunk, out of the neck of the previous aloe vera. It's literally right there. I am going to have to just peel it off. And as you can see, it had its own roots already growing. It was preparing to get detached. That's 3. And come and see how there's more. See that? Very easy, very easy. And I can assure you that if I put this back in soil, get the soil wet, it will continue to grow more babies. So watch this. I try to get as much roots as possible just because that would help them get established a lot better. Look at that. Oh, this one came with a lot of roots. This one. Now all we have left is a trunk, and I'm going to put this back inside the same container. I'm going to give it some new soil. I'm going to get it all moist and wet, and you're going to see there's going to be more aloe vera babies coming out of here, and maybe in a few months I'll make another video showing a second dividing of aloe veras. So let me go ahead and get containers for this, and then I'll show you what I do just to get them in containers. Alright guys, so I went and found some recycled containers from my garden. I had some recycled soil from a tree that passed away. These aloe veras aren't very picky. They don't need a lot of nutrients like other trees or other plants do. So basically what you need to worry about is that the soil that you're putting in is not going to hold a lot of moisture, because like you saw on my big aloe vera, it's way too much moisture, there's way too much water. They start getting crazy and wild like you saw the other one, and they don't look as pretty as they should be looking. So I know that this soil doesn't retain a lot of moisture because I had a citrus in that container that I pulled out. This was the leftover soil, so it's a perfect combination for this citrus and any succulents and aloe veras. So I went ahead and pre-filled the containers, and really all you got to do is make a little hole, put it in there, make sure that it's evenly, that it's balanced, I mean, and it looks pretty. Tuck it in. Since it's top heavy, you want to make sure that you tuck in the soil so it starts to grow upright and pretty and not all sideways like my big aloe vera that I'm gonna have to fix. And with my big aloe vera, there's some combination of things. It wasn't getting enough sun for one, and two, it was getting too much water, and that's why it was growing like that. If you look at my previous videos, that aloe vera used to look beautiful, perfectly round, and it was amazing. But due to the fact to those microclimate issues, it's growing pretty ugly. But no worries, I am going to take care of it. So this one's pretty big. I'm going to put it in a bigger container. You can see it has roots. It's growing really pretty, and it's only going to get better from this point on now that it's going to have its own home. And that is pretty much it. Before we know it, these are going to be humongous, and these are way too many for my small garden. I only need one or two, so I am going to be giving these away. So if you are a local and you are interested in having one, give me a call. This is actually a pretty big one, so it's going to go in the bigger container. And this one has a lot of roots, so I'm anticipating that this one's going to grow pretty fast. Since this one's more top heavy, I'm going to just use some of the soil to backfill it. There's some soil in between the branches. It's not going to damage it. It's not going to drown it. It's completely fine. So don't worry about that. And this one's actually the prettiest one that I've seen so far. Look at that. So pretty. It's looking just like her mama. Anyways, there's 3. I hope I have enough containers because I didn't think this plant had this many. This one's pretty too, so I'm going to put it in this one. And as you saw, the big mama, it didn't have a lot of roots. It was growing perfectly fine in a small container. So you can grow these in small containers. They don't require a huge container. You saw that this container was actually feeding all of these little pups. So, but eventually, yeah, it will get bigger and you're gonna wanna have a bigger container, mainly so it can have a container to balance itself in, not necessarily for the soil. You can backfill it with, what I do is put plastic water bottles at the bottom so I don't use that much soil, and for something like aloe vera, trust me, you don't need that much soil. There goes another one. That makes 4. I think I'm gonna run out of containers. There is some little baby ones here, so I did bring a tiny little container like this one. I'm just gonna make a hole in there, and that's it. Use a little bit of soil to backfill it. There's another one. And this is my last one, so I'm going to take the biggest one. This is a bigger container. And you know what? Another thing I just noticed, if you don't put the soil way up high and it's lower, it actually helps balance the plant because it's lower and it's going to use the weight of the little branches here to hold on to itself around the pot. So that's it. I ran out of containers. I'm gonna have to go look for more recycled containers to put 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So I'm gonna need 4 more. But what I'm gonna do for now, I'm going to put some new soil into this container. And I'm gonna put the bottom part. Down, mix it in. And since this soil is so dried out, I'm gonna get a bucket of water, fill it up, dip this in there so it can absorb all the moisture, and then the soil will be completely moist and ready to go. So I shook up all the soil off. I went ahead and placed it a little even. And now what I'm going to do is just backfill it and say, fill it up. You know what? This might be faster. And leave the little trunk again. And let's see how many babies we get out of that. These took about a year to grow. So maybe by next year around this time we'll have a whole nother set of baby aloe veras. That's it, guys. Look at that. Let's bring all the pups up here. We're gonna put these babies down because I still have to find a container for it. Look at that. This one is my favorite one so far. Look at that. I have so many. And that is how you propagate an aloe vera plant. You can behead it. You can take the pups off, and that's the fastest way. And you can leave the trunk. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Alright guys, since I have a lot of these little pups left over, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find spots in my garden where I can temporarily put them. And once I have more containers, I'm going to replace them. They won't suffer anything. For one, this one, I'm going to just dig a hole right here. This is a strawberry patch that I just noticed that I'm getting new little runners and strawberries. So I'm excited about that. But for now, I'm just going to dig a little hole right here in the middle of it stick it in here and just let it grow with the rest of the stuff. It actually might look very pretty with the strawberries right below it, and it might look amazing. Anyways, I'm gonna continue to do that throughout my garden and just save the rest of the babies because I don't have any containers. Okay.